On behalf of the people of Greater Manchester, I would like to thank you for committing to our communities and for working here, and wish you all the very best in terms of your training and your development, and to say that from my point of view and working with the National Health Service here, we will do our best to support you through the journey that you are on, recognising the commitment that you've made to us. And I'd also like to thank those who've already been here for a while and some way into their placement. A huge thank you too for what you have already done. 70 years next July in 2018 will mark the moment when Anaya and Bevan, who was then the Minister of State for Health, came to Greater Manchester to inaugurate the new National Health Service. 70 years old next year. And in that time, the National Health Service, I believe, has become a beacon around the world in terms of what a health service might be. The idea that whoever you are, whatever your background, whether you have money or you don't have money, whether you have a job or you don't, whatever your circumstances, when you walk through the doors of the National Health Service, you are treated absolutely equally as anybody else. And I think that for that reason, for that simple reason, the health service that we have here is more true to the clinical vocation that you have as doctors, to treat people and to do your best for them. And I think it explains why people from all over the world have built the National Health Service into what it is today in those first 70 years of its existence.
So this is a programme that is growing very, very rapidly indeed in terms of its scope and in terms of its globalism. Why is it such a success? Well, in England we've got this expression, a win-win, and that's exactly what this is. So the way we describe it to our candidates is it's learn, earn and return. So you come here, you take part in the formal training, you get experience in practice, and then the idea is that you return to your country of origin with a prestigious qualification and something that will help you move up the career ladder. And that's the benefit to you. The benefit to us is that we are short-staffed in a service which is expanding rapidly, which has huge demand. So you are helping us to staff that fantastic institution that Andy Burnham described earlier, facing a situation of growing demand. So the programme is great. It's a huge international enterprise, and I think it has some lofty aspirations which can go beyond a medical training programme of promoting internationalism and promoting international fellowship.
When anything starts brand new, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of curiosity, and a wee bit of skepticism as well. But I decided that this is the program I really wanted. It gave me a chance to visit this wonderful country, where we have excellent rheumatology centres from Bath to Birmingham. Soon enough, I heard I was selected somehow. And the first thing I had to do was to pass the IELTS exam to prove my proficiency in the English language. I achieved a very high score and I was rather pleased with myself, except when Mrs. Julia Berry kindly pointed out to me that I gave the wrong exam. So I had to give it all over again in the nick of time because I managed to find a slot, and that somehow worked out.
I think research was one dimension which most of us were not exposed to, and that was a brilliant exposure by Edge Hill University, and I really want everyone to give a big hand to Edge Hill University for that, please. So I think now, after doing the MCH course, we've got some knack of writing papers or having our stuff published in journals, which we already have and we're still doing it. And I think that's one thing we are going to take back home as well. Mr. Foster already mentioned that it's got to be a win-win situation for either the UK people as well as Indian people. And I think it is, because as much as we need NHS, the NHS needs us as well. And most of the A&E doctors or the staff that we see, there are so many of foreign doctors who are over here and who are doing so well in every speciality in the country.
And today, we're one of the half a dozen largest healthcare training providers in the United Kingdom. We obviously train large numbers of nurses, midwives. We also train all the operating department practitioners for Greater Manchester. We train all the paramedics for Greater Manchester. But in some ways, actually, perhaps one of the things that I'm most proud of is the partnership that's actually evolved over the last decade, working with our friends and colleagues at Whitington, Wigan and Lee, and now increasingly with a much broader constituency. The NHS in the United Kingdom is a wonderful organisation, but it's an organisation which does need renewal. It's an organisation which does need the skills and the commitment which you bring here. And as a nation, we have a debt to all of you, and I'm very, very privileged. I mean, in terms of my job, one thing that I like to say, and I think it's really true, is that actually we train, we're the largest trainer of teachers in the country. That means that actually we are creating life chances for people. We're creating people's life directions. But also actually the people who are in this room are actually sustaining people's lives, improving those life chances. And it's a privilege for me actually to be in this room with you. And it's a privilege for me actually to do the job that I do every day as well. We're committed actually not only to bring additional trainees over here or additional qualified people to follow the MCH and the MMed programme, we're also committed actually to sustaining the quality and the reputation of the programme as well. And that quality and reputation actually sits with us, but also it sits with every one of you. And I'm very grateful for that commitment. So thank you very much indeed. Thanks. Bye.